In this video today, I just want to touch on something quite simple, which will actually massively help you when it comes to sales calls, when it comes to closing clients, all these different things. But the biggest problem that you'll see with a lot of people is when you jump onto these sales calls, because in your mind you're thinking, oh, it's a sales call, I've got to sell to this person. You spend the vast majority of your time either waiting for them to finish speaking so you can speak about yourself, or just waiting or itching to get into your pitch and explaining why they should work with you, why they should hand over their money, and all that kind of stuff. So you see on the left hand side here, like the reason that calls go quiet are you just talk about yourself. And basically, fundamentally, prospects, when they come onto these sales calls, they want to feel like you understand what their problem is and you can help them get to where they want to get to. They don't just want to buy something off you if they don't feel like you understand the problem that they've got. So you'll see here like a lot of things that people will say, or like, we've got all these features, we integrate with every tool under the sun. We were founded back in this. Like we've seen, one of our clients used to say in their emails that we were a female founded company. And great as that is, that isn't really going to solve someone's problem. They want to know, if they work with you, what would the outcome be of doing that, and will it be the outcome that they want? And then especially if you're selling something like knowledge or anything like that, it's a case of like, let me show you every module, like, oh, we have all these calls and stuff. Again, like, that's great, you have all this stuff and there's probably a lot of value within that, but realistically the client wants to know, what is the upside to doing this? And you'll find as well, when you spend the whole sales call actually trying to sell to people, actually trying to pitch people, actually talking about yourself, when it comes to like the follow-up call or the close, the prospect will either go quiet or they'll just disappear completely. You'll never hear from them again. What you need to do here is actually reframe it. So the call that will actually close is you spend the whole time focusing on them. So for example, you'll hear this all the time, it's kind of done to death, but when you go to the doctors, if they spent the whole time saying, oh, I think it should be this, or you should try out these tablets, or all that kind of stuff, but they actually haven't spent any time whatsoever asking you, oh, what's the problem? Where's the pain? How long have you had the pain? What have you tried to do to fix the problem? Do you have any of these symptoms? They haven't tried to diagnose anything whatsoever. Realistically, are you going to trust that doctor to actually give you the cure or whatever it is that you need from them? Probably not. Where if you turned up and they asked you, oh, so what is the current problem you have? Where does it hurt? Have you tried this? Have you tried that? Just so they can rule out every single thing that it can be, and then you can see what the root cause is. Especially when you're selling a product to people who may have already tried something similar before. It may be a case, for argument's sake, you sell email services like we do, and, oh, well, I used email before and it didn't work. Then you actually dig into it a little bit deeper, and it turns out that the company that they outsourced it to, they got their targeting wrong, or the copy was incorrect, or there was something wrong with the setup of the system, so deliverability didn't work, or all these different things that can be a problem. But until you actually ask the questions, you'll never know. And once you start to assume in sales as well, that's also a major problem. But going back to this here, so once you focus on them, you can ask them like, oh, what's the problem right now? If we were to fix the problem, what would that mean for you? Would that be more business, more free time, more happiness actually in the business itself? It can be a number of different things, but until you know that, you then don't really have anything you can sell back to them as an outcome that they would want. You can then also focus on, this is how we would actually fix your problem. So another thing that I used to do when I was selling CRM software to recruitment companies is, at the start of the call, before we jumped into any demonstration, you'd get a lot of prospects like, oh, can I just see the system? I'd make the point of saying, well, no, because there's so many different features in the system, there's no point me showing you it if half the stuff we look at today is irrelevant. So I would be like, oh, what's the top 3 things that you actually need from the system that you want to see today? Especially when I was selling to sort of smaller companies as well, they would say, oh, we need to be able to track candidates, email through the system, and we need analytics. So then I would then, when we got to the demo portion of the call, focus purely around those 3 elements. And then if there was anything else, or could we also have a look at this, and that's fine. But as long as you've ticked off the fundamentals, that's the key. Similar process with this when you're selling. Like, what is it that you need out of this? Make sure that the solution you offer ticks all those boxes. And then once they can then start to visualize that everything that you're presenting to them will get them to their desired outcome, as opposed to you kind of just trying to use a thing called, we used to call it demo candy, just things that are going to get them excited, but in reality there's no real substance to it, which again is going to be a waste of your time. And then once they do that, as you can see on this final point here, they can then start to picture the next month, the next 3 months, the next 6 months, the next year. Once all this stuff is working for them, they'll then get even closer to their goal, which again is the reason they're taking the sales call in the first place. They want to get to that end goal. And as you'll see here, once you start to think about this, the prospect will then start to lean in, and they'll be the one driving the next step and booking the next call. So what you need to do really is talk about what they want and show them how to get it, rather than what you have or what you want. Because realistically, if you're a salesperson, what you want is you want that person to buy from you. You might be an account executive who has a manager, a boss, a sales quotas to hit. You might be a business owner, an agency owner, coach, or consultant, and you need revenue for your business, you need cash flow, but realistically you're not going to get there unless you actually present the outcome to the person that they want. And you'll see here this quote is from Dale Carnegie. One book I can't recommend enough which will help you when it comes to selling is How to Win Friends and Influence People. It will massively reframe your mind on how to actually deal with people, how to make them like you, and actually how to understand the people that you're working with. Another thing as well, which is slightly different to this, but when you're kind of focusing on yourself, what you'll tend to do is try to build fake rapport, thinking, oh, if this person likes me, chances are they're going to buy from me. Like they don't care if you you know where they're from, or you ask them about their dogs on the call or anything like that. Really, like, again, fundamentally, like 9 times out of 10, if someone's going to buy from you, it's because they can see that you understand their problem, you understand how they want to fix it, and you provide the solution to that. And on the flip side of that as well, if you go through this whole process and it turns out, oh, this person just isn't a fit, I've asked all the questions, I understand their situation, I can't fix it, or I can't provide the outcome that they want, great. Like, you've also done the part of your job you should be doing anyway. Qualifying, is the person a fit for you? Like, not every sales call is going to be an ideal fit for the people that you want to work with, and all you've done there is not only save the prospect a load of time, you've also saved yourself a lot of time, probably reduce the chance that you're going to have to give refunds out. So yeah, if you can get really, really good in the qualification discovery piece, realistically, you're going to have a better time, your prospect's going to have a better time, and overall your business will perform better because you're not wasting time trying to shoehorn solutions into people that wouldn't appreciate it in the first place. We have more stuff like this as well inside our community called Daily Live Sales Coaching. It's free to join, 7-day free trial, and then it's $19 a month. We have daily sales calls where we go through things like this. We can do role plays, we can do whatever you would like to work on at that point in time. But yeah, hope this video was helpful.